What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 11, episode 14. So, we start this episode off. We have Lisa Rinna with the girls and her boyfriend. Her Amelia rolls up in a nice sports car that she said she got from her friends. Wonder who that might be. We see Lisa Rinna bringing out all her vintage clothing for her girls, and of course they definitely have an appreciation for it because they were fashion models and they were in the industry and all that great stuff, and so it was cute to see them in all of the old vintage gowns. They even have one of them was like a Tom Ford it was Tom Ford for Gucci, so like that tells you right there. And then she reflects on the fact that the girls are getting older, and she just sees them, they're these adults now. So it was a moment. It was a moment. Then we found out that Lisa is having her launch party for Rinna Beauty, whatever, over at Crystal's house, and Crystal said that she hosts parties at her house all the time. So to let you know that her house is the bomb. Like, that lets you know. She said that she said before COVID, she was doing, she said it would be nothing for her to be hosting, sound like an event a weekend, and I guess her husband's cool with it. So Dorit comes by to talk to Crystal, and, they're talking again. They're talking about the whole situation down at Kyle's party. This was after the holidays, so they're kind of talking about how the holidays went for them and everything. And Dorit starts talking about how, yes, they understand the gravity of what Erika is really dealing with, but at the same time, do we really need to, was that really the time to necessarily harp on her like she really needs us? And Dorit just didn't want to be piling on. Crystal was like, I don't disagree, but I also understand the concern that other ladies may have had. Then she starts talking about Garcelle. And she says, Garcelle has just been jabbing at me lately, and I just don't appreciate it. And I don't know where it's coming from. And I don't know why she keeps coming for me. And, I just don't understand. Like, what have I done to her? I thought we were friends. I thought we were cool, So, child, I guess Dorit gonna say what she gotta say. So then we see Miss Erika. She's at her home cleaning, looking very woe is me, cleaning her new bungalow, honey. And Lisa Rinna and Kyle came by to hang out with her. It was Kyle's birthday, so they popped some champagne and they were talking or whatever. And of course, they had to talk about, did y'all know that Erika Jane had a tramp stamp? I did not know Erika Jane had a tramp stamp. We saw a scene with her bending over cleaning the refrigerator, and Erika Jane has a tramp stamp. I did not know. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but then I kind of am. But anyway, so of course they're talking, and again they get on this Erika situation, and Erika now says that she's known that Tom was cheating ever since there was I found it interesting that Bravo didn't do a flashback of this scene. She said it was one time when the ladies, they were talking with was it Gigi Hadid's mom. I believe that was her. Y'all get me together in the comments if I have the wrong person. She had made a comment about men cheating and how they're going to always look out for each other. And she said, I went home that night and it was just sitting in my mind. Something just didn't sit right in my mind. And Tom was asleep, and I looked at his phone and I opened it up and it was all just right there. And I was just like, all right, Erika, listen, I can't tell you your story, and I can't tell you that your story ain't happened. I can tell you I don't believe it. So Lisa brings a birthday gift for Kyle, and she says, oh, that's from both of us, Erika. Oh, so now Erika can't afford to buy birthday gifts for her friends. Then again, Erika starts talking about how she don't have nothing and how she left Tom without anything. And Kyle asked the question that I think all of us have been wanting to ask, but girl, you did not have a prenup. So why couldn't you leave? If it was so horrible and things were so so negative, why couldn't you leave? You ain't have a prenup. And she was like, well, because I mean, he's a lawyer and he's a barracuda, and he would have found a way around it. He would have found a way around a prenup. She said, and look, I left him and I still don't have nothing. Yeah, because you waited till the damn money ran out. If you had left him 5 years ago when you said you found out he was cheating and things were so bad, hell, even 3 years ago, you might have walked away with something. You might have. But you waited until the ceiling was falling out, and so no, you ain't getting nothing. She said that she just had to wait until she was making her own money. She said she couldn't leave him when she first found out about everything because she wasn't making her own money and she was relying on him 100%. And where was she going to go? She couldn't afford this place and she couldn't afford that. She said, what was I going to do? Call you guys up and ask you for a loan? Yes, absolutely. If it was absolutely that bad, what the hell is any good of having rich friends if they can't help you out when you need a loan? I'm just saying. I'm not rich, so don't call me for no money. But I'm just saying, like, real talk though, seriously. If you were in a really bad situation and you were in an emotionally abusive relationship, not physically, but you said it was an emotionally abusive relationship, you didn't have any money, you don't think that all of these rich friends that you have, they got guest houses and everything else. Girl, you could have did the same damn thing you did now, is packed your shit up, back that 16-wheeler moving truck up to the house in the middle of the day while Tom was at work, packed up all your shit, and got the hell up out of there. Girl, you were leasing a whole separate loft in downtown LA. You could have slowly moved your stuff out and nobody would have even been the wiser because, hell, you had a whole separate damn studio in LA that had a whole closet full of clothes. Girl, listen, far be it for me to tell somebody when to leave a relationship and leave a marriage. But stop. Anyway, I feel like I keep saying the same thing every week. Then they, of course, were talking about Sutton, and they had to let her know. And Erika was like, well, what was really said? Like, y'all keep saying that, I'm not getting the whole story, and what was said to me wasn't what was really said. So what was really said? And I feel like they reiterated what Sutton said, that she was nervous about, being around Erika, and she was nervous about Erika, what they could or could not be, held responsible for in her reputation in the community. She absolutely said that last week when Lisa called her out and said, you're only worried about yourself. She was like, yeah. So, of course, that Erika, y'all know Erika, she put that in the back of her mind and she gonna pounce on it at the first given opportunity. So, next we see the ladies are getting ready for the Rena Beauty launch and getting ready for Rena's thing. Now, listen, let me say this. I can appreciate that it was COVID. I can appreciate that Rena was not able to launch this the way she wanted to launch this. I can appreciate that Crystal is hosting at her house. But here's what I don't appreciate. What I don't appreciate is that all of this was done for them. Like, there was not another person that showed up to this party, far as we knew. Now, I know that they be editing stuff, and they show us what they want to show us. But listen, Crystal had a bar. Crystal had bungalows built. Crystal had place settings and the food. Crystal had all of this stuff going on, okay? I'm like, nobody else was there except for the people on this show. They didn't even have a plus one. Kyle didn't even bring none of her people that she always brings to events. Hell, you could have invited Teddy to this. But the hell was Teddy? So they had this whole event. It looked nice, Crystal. You look like you did a really good job. But girl. But can I get one of them lip kits though, Lisa? Can you send me one? Send me a lip kit. Anyway. But it looked really nice. And the bar has signature drinks. Kathy Hilton shows up. Listen. Thank y'all for letting me know what bag that was that Kathy had. Kathy showed up again with another big ass tote bag. With her names, with her initials on it, honey. I said, I know that's right, Kathy. Kathy told you she keep everything in her damn tote bag, okay? So she had a purse and she had a tote bag. But Kathy was there, baby. And like I said, all the ladies showed up. And it looked like it was a nice event, including Erika. Showed up, Sutton. Now, Sutton said, listen, I may have overreacted a little bit. But I mean, hell, I can come to a damn, beauty launch party, okay? I could show up for that, okay? Garcelle was there and, all of that. So, Lisa has her moment. She goes through launching her brand, and her party planner is there talking about how wonderful it was, and she's thanking all the ladies for being there. So then they sit down to have lunch. And while they're at lunch, at some point during lunch, Dorit decides that it's time for her to address Garcelle about the fact that she feels like she's picking at her. And of course she starts talking about, you've been picking at me. And you this and you that. And Garcelle was like, okay, well, what are you talking about? So she starts giving her examples, and Garcelle was like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that too. Yeah, I remember when that happened. She said, that's what you mean by you feel like I'm picking at you? She was like, if that's, she was like, Dorit, I don't feel like that was me picking at you, but sometimes, you kind of suck the air out the room. Like, sometimes it's really hard for people to get a word in. And so if I was picking at you, or if you feel like I was coming at you sideways, then, maybe that was my way of letting you know that, I didn't appreciate you maybe let you know to be quiet or whatever. So then, excuse me. So then she brings up what happened in Palm Springs with Erika. Baby, Garcelle said, F you, Dorit. F you. Like, she said it with authority, and she said it more than once. Like, in case you didn't hear me the first time, and in case you didn't understand what I meant the first time, F you, and F you a third time. Please know that I said what I meant, and I meant what I said. And she said, for you to bring up what happened between me and Erika, when you know full well that wasn't the same thing. I was not picking at Erika. I was not trying to make Erika feel no kind of way. You know what happened. And of course, they flash back to that, and they flash back to Crystal explaining to all the ladies that Garcelle did not know that Erika did not want to repeat it. And then they were like, well, and Garcelle actually got up to leave, but they got her to, sit down and finish having the conversation. But she was like, if you have a problem, then you keep it between you and me. Don't bring other situations that don't have anything to do with this. This didn't have nothing to do with Erika. And me and Erika have talked, and we're good. So for you to keep bringing that up, that's fucked up. Then Sutton want to put her 2 cents in. Baby, that's all Erika was waiting for. Erika was like, no, you just shut your ass up. You shut your ass up. Sutton was like, what? What? She said, you shut your ass up because you the one didn't want to be seen with me, worried about your reputation, and this don't even have nothing to do with you. My problems don't have nothing to do with you. My problems ain't your problems. So no, you stay out of this because you've been doing what you've been doing. And Sutton was like, girl, okay, whatever, girl. So then they get back to Dorit and Garcelle, and they get to talking about how Dorit, again, like I said, sucks the air out of the room. And of course, now they got a flashback to the fact that pretty much all the ladies have had this same conversation with Dorit at a different point. We know at the beginning of the season, her and Kyle had it out. They had it out last season. We know her and Erika have had it out. So, like, Dorit, girl, stop acting like you ain't never heard this before. You've absolutely heard this before. You've absolutely had people tell you before that you suck the air out of the room, and you really just do all this talking and really don't let nobody say nothing. Okay? But she did sit back down, and they were able to resolve it, and they sort of like changed the subject and started joking or whatever. So next we see Kyle go over to Kathy's house. Now Kathy is getting ready she's having a dinner party. She's getting ready for the dinner party. And baby, they still got their Christmas stuff up with Hermes and everything else under the tree, because they said they're waiting for Paris to get there. So they really haven't done their Christmas yet, because I don't know where Paris is, but Paris ain't been home, honey. I said, I know that's right. So Kathy said she loves dinner parties. She said that is her thing. She said the same way Dorit likes to dress up in her little get-ups and I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what she said. She said, that's how I like to do my dinner parties. She said, and it takes me about 3 or 4 days to make sure that it's right. Baby, she had these Baccarat candle holders that were like $950 a piece. And then one of the party favors are like these Baccarat, like little red butterflies. Kathy, if you got an extra one lying around, you can send me one. If it's just lying around, it's extra. Go send me one, girl. But it looked nice. It definitely looked nice. And then she's got these crowns that she's gonna give out as party favors to the ladies as well. And she had one of them big ass candles. Y'all remember them candles that she gave Kyle when they went down to Palm Springs? And y'all told me, little baby, you told me the brand that was, and that candle was like a couple of $100. She had one burning. It looked like it was like a peppermint one. I say that I couldn't smell it, but it had like the little peppermint design on it, and it was Christmas time, so I just said peppermint. But it looked nice. I need one of those because, you know, peppermint, that's a really good scent to soothe you and keep you calm. So anyway, Kathy looked good in this scene too. Whoever did her makeup, whoever her glam was for this, baby, she looked good, okay? So they sort of recap what happened at the lunch with everything with Erika and Garcelle and Dorit or whatever. Then they got on the conversation of American Woman. And once again, we had some product placement by Kathy Hilton. I'm not mad at you at all. That water bottle, y'all saw how that water bottle was placed in there, just like she did that Roost Crisp and she did the Del Taco. Shouts out to Buffy for bringing that to my attention, girl. But they got on the subject of American Woman. And Kathy explained her point of view on the whole thing with American Woman. And she said, listen, because Kyle was like, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't a slander piece. Like, I didn't say anything nasty about our mom. It really was a love letter to her, you know. And Kathy was like, yeah, but the optics were off. Like, I really didn't appreciate that scene with mom floating in the pool, smoking the weed with the money. And Kyle was like, okay, that's not exactly what happened. And then they sort of rehashed when they stopped speaking. They stopped speaking like around 2011 because of Mauricio and the whole situation with him leaving the real estate and going and starting his own agency. The Hiltons accused him of taking clients. It was really nasty, and that's sort of where it started. Then, you know, then Kyle did American Woman, and that did not help. And Kathy was like, you know, I wouldn't have done something like that without talking to you or Kim. And she was like, well, y'all weren't speaking to me. And I feel like Kathy was like, but that's not a reason. Like, that's business. Us on a personal level versus our business, that's two different things. So, but the one thing that Kathy said that I thought was absolutely, I understood exactly what she said. She said, listen, it doesn't matter that everything that you put in that show was not 100% what happened. What matters is that you kept telling people that it was based on your mom and your story growing up. So everything that people see, they're going to say, oh, well, did that really happen? Which is what we do. When we see something that says based on a true story, we don't know how to decipher what is creative license and what really happened. And so what Kathy is saying is, listen, you saying, oh, well, this is based on our story, is saying to people, this is what really happened. She said, and I just am not comfortable with some of the things that were in there, whether it was true or not. That was it. That was put out there. And Kyle said, well, you sent me a letter, you know, basically saying that, you know, my family couldn't be depicted or couldn't be referred to. Girl, Kathy said, I did send her a letter. She said, and I would have done the same thing to my children. And the way she looked at the camera was like, and I feel her on that. Like, I absolutely feel her on that. Like, you got to protect your family. And we know that Paris has done reality shows and stuff like that. And if you go back and look at those reality shows, you didn't really see her family. You didn't see her parents like that. They might have made a cameo here and there, but you ain't see them like that. Y'all remember that episode? This was maybe 2 seasons back. It wasn't last season, I don't believe. I think it was the season before that, where Kyle was at the same restaurant as Kathy. baby, and they didn't even speak to each other. I said, damn, that's cold-blooded. But what they did resolve was they're glad that they were able to work through it. They're glad that they were able to come to a good place, and that they both regret the fact that they lost 10 years, because they went 10 years without really speaking to each other. And the one thing Kathy did tell Kyle was, listen, when I'm spending time with Kim, Kim doesn't talk bad about you, and I don't talk bad about you to Kim. She doesn't talk bad about you to me, and I don't talk, like, I don't want you to feel like during the time period that we weren't speaking, that that's what me and Kim were doing. And Kyle was like, I find that hard to believe about Kim, but okay. But my thing is, I feel like Kim says whatever she needs to say to your face. Like, I don't know. But I was glad to see them talk it out. I still don't think Kyle 100% understands Kathy's position on that. But what I hope is that she won't do it again. You know, if she ever wants to start talking about what happened, that she understands that that's a conversation that they need to have as a family to resolve it. But anyway, that was it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.